Now, one of the most important elements, I think, of conservatism, as we touched on, is the idea of freedom. And freedom goes hand in hand, I think, with competition. The right to, uh, liberals love to cast competition as some kind of evil thing, something that is, inherently inequitable. But I think you'd agree with me that the way we look at competition is it allows us to utilize our God-given abilities to rise as high or to fall as far as we're willing to work. And that's a much infinitely more compassionate and fair system than one in which government makes all our decisions for us, picks winners and losers, as they're currently doing. So school choice is a big part of that. And I know that's been something you focused on in your campaign, and I think it's really great for a number of reasons, not only because I believe in it, but I also have been a voice in New Jersey that has said to our legislators and our other party leaders that, hey, look, this is a winning issue in places like Essex County and Camden County that haven't been traditionally Republican for a while, but where we can really make inroads with some people who have been wronged by big government's over-involvement in the education system. So I thought maybe we could start out this discussion a little bit by just you telling me, your perspective on where you think education is in New Jersey right now, and what's wrong with it, and why, specifically, more money isn't necessarily the answer.
Yeah, look, I'd be happy to talk about it, and it is an issue that I'm passionate about. As I said in the beginning of this, I've never been in politics before, and I think, I could probably make the case that from a political perspective, this is a great opportunity for Republicans to cross over and reach voters who haven't really gotten to them. But you know what, Matt? This is just an issue of right and wrong, okay? And it goes back to these core principles. Yes, competition is in essence the outflow of this idea of liberty and freedom. But in this issue, what we have, unfortunately, is we have a state that has decided the way we're going to measure educational excellence is by how much money we're spending in the school district, not by whether the kids are learning anything or not. We're spending $26,000, depending on how you count it, on kids in Newark, which are being paid for by everyone from the state. And what are we getting? We're getting, unfortunately, another generation of children we are sending them to yet another generation of poverty and misery because we're not giving them the tools to grow.
Exactly. I mean, like John McCain said, I think it's a civil rights issue. It really is.
There's no doubt about it, it's a civil rights issue. Again, we believe in equality of opportunity. We don't agree in equality of outcome. I mean, individuals, the beauty of our country is the uniqueness of our individuality. So to everyone to have an idea that we should have equal outcomes is sort of ridiculous to me. It's equality of opportunity. And these kids aren't getting it. Now, going back to choice in particular, we have a school setup that, based on where you live, you are confined to that school district, whether it's failing or whether it's succeeding. The idea of school choice, to me, is if you're in a school district, who gets to choose what's the best education for your children? Should it be the parents or should it be the government? I believe it should be the parents. And if you happen to be in a school system that's working for you, great, send your kids to public school. But if you happen to be in a school system that's not working for you, for whatever reasons, whether it's a failing school system or there's other things that you think you want your child to learn, we're all paying taxes. It goes back to this other idea. When we pay taxes, is that the government's money or is that your money? You should have the choice. Now, yes, creating that choice then will create competition. Now, obviously, most people don't want competition because they want to have the monopoly, but we all know the problems with monopolies is they don't serve really anyone very well other than the people who are inside of that system.
Absolutely.
So, but to me, also, I'll extend school choice. One problem when we talk about this idea of school choice is that it says, oh, you're draining money from the public schools or you're going after the teachers. I think there are tremendous teachers in our system, but since they are forced to be in a union, we're not getting the best out of a lot of them. To me, freedom of choice also means the freedom to be able to teach at public school and not have to be in the union, because not everybody agrees not everybody agrees that after 3 years you should have lifetime tenure. We want the ability to be able to let the best of those teachers rise, not by time served, but by ability. And then we also need the teachers who are not doing so well to be able to move them off. So choice, opportunity, this creates so much. The huge problem that people don't really want to talk about is we're pretty much lying. Governor Corzine tells the people that we have 92% high school graduation rate. Aren't we great? Aren't we doing a great job? Those numbers are just a flat-out lie. First of all, he doesn't count the kids who have dropped out of school before senior year. Now, the new superintendent in Newark just recently announced that they are going to start counting those kids. But worse than that, if you have failed a statewide test, you get to take something called the Special Review Assessment, which is a locally administered exam, which lowers standards, and if you pass that, then you get a high school diploma. Now, some leaders like Reverend Reginald Jackson of the Black Ministers Council in Orange, which is in my district, has come out against, he wants tenure reform, and he's against a special review assessment because he's saying, quite rightfully, you're not teaching my kids the right stuff. So going back to the political, yes, this is a really big issue where we have common ground. As you just saw, just the other day, Newt Gingrich and Al Sharpton standing together in Washington over this exact issue. Education is the civil rights issue. To say these issues are mere education issues, it's like saying Rosa Parks' choice of where she sat on the bus was a mere transportation issue. We've got to help these kids, and we need to do it with a variety of ways. Choice and competition are one of several remedies that will transform their lives and our society.
No, I obviously think you're 100% right across the board with everything you've said, and I think that one of the things you said that really hits home with me is how important it is for us to rephrase the argument to teachers in particular. I think one of my criticisms of the ways that Republicans to date have gone about arguing for school choice is that they've done it in a way that seems to try to pit parents versus teachers or taxpayers versus teachers. And I think what you just did is you laid out a very convincing case of why vouchers are actually best for our educators. I don't think that they're necessarily always the problem, and you agree with that. I think that they would benefit from a system for competition because the good educators, which most of them are, not all, but just like any profession, most of them, carry their weight. They would be able to benefit greatly because their talents would finally be recognized and they would get a better work product in the end of the day. So I think that's really fantastic that you're highlighting that.
I visited I had the opportunity to visit a charter school in Newark just last week, and had a very nice, frank discussion with the principal there. I don't want to mention his name or with school, and this guy has actually done tremendous work there. And I asked him, why does he think he's been able to be more successful here than, his neighbor down the road? And he was very kind. He said, hey, I know the principal down the road in the public school, and I think he's great. But when I need something for my kids, I just have one form to sign, and I get to make it happen. Effectively, in the charter school system, the principal is the superintendent.
Right.
See, in the public school system, and this is, we have so many layers. We have superintendent upon superintendent. There's just too many layers of bureaucracy, and nobody can say in good conscience that's helping children. What that is doing is feeding patronage jobs, which is siphoning off tax dollars that could be used to help the kids. That's what it's all about. And, we need to cut waste in the bureaucracy. We need, effectively, again, competition. Let the power of competition, it works everywhere. It will work in education. I'm convinced.